Now at 6:30, Ohio marks a grim milestone as flu season ramps up across the state and the country. The latest flu numbers and how to stay safe as cases spike.
Plus, 1 month into the second Trump administration, we look at what the administration has done so far and the drastic changes to the federal workforce.
There's rising concern that this is kind of mindless and reckless. There's no pattern to it, there's no rhyme or reason to it, and it's going to hurt average American families.
And in sports, Ohio faces a formidable foe tomorrow. How the Bobcats look to end the longest win streak in the country. Newswatch starts right now. Thanks for joining us this evening. I'm Haley Hollinger.
And I'm Ty Carpenter. Frigid conditions remain in southeast Ohio tonight, but that could change this weekend.
For sure. And for more, we want to send it over to forecaster Emily Cate. Emily, what are we looking at as we head into the weekend?
Yes, well, we're going to be looking at some warmer temperatures, which is really great because right now we're sitting at around 28 degrees in overcast skies, so a little chilly. That wind chill is also 22 degrees because of those west-northwest winds bringing in those cooler temperatures. But this weekend, we're going to be seeing a warming trend, so stay tuned.
Health officials announced the first pediatric flu death in Ohio as flu season rages in the state and across the country.
Officials are urging parents to protect their kids as communities see a large spike in cases. The Ohio Department of Health says flu spread is very high. Flu activity has grown since early December and has increased more rapidly since the beginning of the year. More than 9,000 people have been hospitalized with the flu in Ohio. ODH says this is well above a 5-year average for this time in the season. Health officials say it's not too late for parents and kids to get a flu vaccine. They say it's also important to wash your hands and stay home if you're sick. Anti-abortion advocates file a legal complaint against the Ohio Department of Health and the State Medical Board over a new website. The website, which launched this week, allows a patient seeking an abortion to consult with a doctor via telehealth and get abortion pills sent to them. Ohio Right to Life says under state law, physician needs to be involved and present when an abortion is performed or abortion-inducing drugs are prescribed. This comes almost 2 years after Ohioans passed a constitutional amendment protecting abortion in the state. Supporters of the amendment claim it prohibits any action that would limit access to abortion services. ODH says it is reviewing the complaint and will take action where appropriate. The operator of the regional power grid that electrifies Ohio is waving a red flag. In a recent report, PGM says demand in the state is growing faster than the power being generated, driven primarily by the growth of data centers. The company says that misalignment between supply and demand could lead to capacity shortages by June next year. Executive at PJM blames state and federal policy for the shortage. And while the company welcomes new renewable sources, officials say there is not enough power to the state.
New tonight, a Waterford man is arrested for allegedly killing a 25-year-old back in 2023. Douglas Sullivan is charged with 1 count of involuntary manslaughter. Investigators say the 61-year-old sold fentanyl and methamphetamine to Danius Rauer back in December 2023. Rauer later died of an overdose. Sullivan is being held at the Washington County Jail. His bond is set at $150,000. Staying in the courtroom, the trial date for the semi-truck driver charged in 2023's fatal bus crash on Interstate 70 is pushed back. Jury selection in the case against Jacob McDonald was originally scheduled to begin on Monday, but new records show his trial date has been rescheduled to May 5th. In November 2023, the 61-year-old allegedly plowed into the back of a charter bus transporting students and chaperones from the Tuscarawas Valley local school district. Three students and 3 adults died in the crash. McDonald faces 26 charges, including 6 counts of aggravated vehicular homicide.
A new multi-modal transportation hub is expected to create over 200 new jobs in the mid-Ohio Valley. The Southeastern Ohio Port Authority, in collaboration with Washington County officials and the Belpre Industrial Parkersburg Railroad, has acquired the former American Municipal Power Gorge site. The 51-acre site is located along State Route 7 between Belpre and Marietta. The Port Authority says the location offers new opportunities to support supply chain needs in several industries in the area. car manufacturer Honda is spending $1 billion to revamp its manufacturing plants in Ohio. The company says this will allow plants to build gasoline, hybrid, and electric vehicles on the same assembly line. Honda is one of the state's biggest employers, employing nearly 16,000 Ohioans. Chief Engineer of Honda Development and Manufacturing of America says Ohio was chosen for its location to other suppliers. 300 additional associates will be hired to meet new demands at plants. WOUB is your source for news in Southeast Ohio. For the latest news across the region, head to our website, woub.org, or download the WOUB app. Major news out of the nation's capital tonight. Just over an hour ago, a federal judge ruled the White House can move ahead with dismantling USAID, dealing a heavy blow to the aid agency. The judge, who originally blocked the government from putting thousands of employees on leave, says he is removing it. The American Foreign Service Association and the American Federation of Government Employees had sued the Trump administration. They were trying to prevent the firing of around 75,000 civil service workers, including those with USAID. In the ruling, the judge said the unions didn't meet the legal standard to get a preliminary injunction. The judge added the workers would not suffer irreparable harm if the court no longer intervenes. 1 month down and 47 to go. This week marks 1 month since President Donald Trump returned to the White House.
Since January 20th, the Trump administration has moved quickly, reshaping the federal government. And while some have praised his quick action, others are worried about his push to expand power. Trump signed a flurry of executive orders in his first month. Some seek to undo portions of former President Joe Biden's legacy, while others related to the cultural issues that have invigorated his base. Some of the most significant executive orders, like ones freezing federal funds and eliminating birthright citizenship, are already facing court challenges.
The President has already signed 73 executive orders. That is more than double the number signed by Joe Biden and more than quadruple the number signed by Barack Obama over the same period.
President Trump has also enacted major tariffs, including a 10% tariff on all Chinese and a 25% tariff on all steel and aluminum imports. A recent CNN poll shows 52% of those surveyed say Trump has gone too far in using his presidential power, with similar majorities wary of his push to shutter federal agencies. Over the past month, about 77,000 federal employees took an offer to resign, while thousands of other employees have been terminated as the president continues to shrink the federal government.
And the layoffs have emotions running high as employees wait to see if they're next on the chopping block. Laura Aguirre has more on the White House's efforts to upend the federal workforce amid lawsuits and public backlash.
In recent days, thousands more federal workers have been fired from roles at multiple agencies, including the Department of Energy, Veterans Affairs, Homeland Security, and the U.S. Forest Service. Also, the CDC, where officials say the exact number of job cuts is unknown.
Managers found out that team members had been fired because they emailed them and got a bounce back saying the email address no longer exists.
A source tells CNN the IRS is expected to lose around 6,000 employees this week in the thick of tax season. Proposed job cuts that could impact around 50,000 civilian employees at the Defense Department put on hold this morning, pending a more thorough review of what those cuts could mean for U.S. military readiness, say two defense officials familiar with the matter.
I don't support the process Doge and Elon Musk are employing, which is a wrecking ball.
Or perhaps a chainsaw like the one Elon Musk ceremoniously wielded on stage at the Conservative Political Action Conference Thursday night. Constituents of Georgia Republican Congressman Rich McCormick not holding back at a town hall in Roswell last night.
Why is this being jammed down the pipe so rushed and sloppily?
So
Use a scalpel.
my understanding is when you say you have this many employees that you have to cut, that organization decides who they're going to cut. Now they may
There's rising concern that this is kind of mindless and reckless. There's no pattern to it. There's no rhyme or reason to it, and it's going to hurt average American families, especially in their constituencies.
Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Laura Aguirre.
More than 6,000 workers at the Internal Revenue Service were laid off, setting off alarm bells as the U.S. enters tax season. The National Treasury Employee Union worries the terminations could reduce customer service availability as Americans file their tax returns. Some accountants and IRS workers also warn refund checks could be late this year. A source familiar with the cuts say they're mainly aimed at probationary workers. In an interview with Fox News, the Commerce Secretary argues the IRS cuts are part of President Donald Trump's economic plan.
I mean, great, as in no deficit, and basically try to eliminate the Internal Revenue Service and our taxes.
Many of the 6,000 people laid off were part of a Biden administration effort to ramp up audit rates of wealthy taxpayers and large corporations. A new survey shows consumers are more concerned about the economy compared to last month. The latest survey from the University of Michigan found consumer sentiment on inflation dropped 10% in February. This, as a new CNN poll says 62% of American adults, President Trump isn't properly dealing with inflation. The Trump administration's aggressive approach to tariffs is a key reason why attitudes about the economy are soaring, according to various consumer surveys and polls.
They showed the inaccessible areas, and me and my guys, we realized that's what we do.
Coming up, communities are stranded by high water, how one nonprofit is delivering supplies through an unconventional method.
And raw milk consumption is on the rise. Find out what medical experts say about the risks of consuming it.
Warmer temperatures are expected, but just how much of an increase are we going to see?
Meet Hazel Scott, a sensational pianist who jazzed up the classics and became famous.
The queen of Cafe Society.
Hollywood called, and TV made her the first black performer with her own TV series. But despite her riches and fame, as an early civil rights activist, Hazel Scott was simply erased from American memory.
Political blacklisting.
Don't miss The Disappearance of Miss Scott on American Masters.
Tonight at 9 on WOUB.
Ron Carter's the Louis Armstrong, Charlie Parker of the bass.
To me, he's like this god.
Mr. Ron Carter.
James Brown, Aretha Franklin, Miles Davis, Jefferson Airplane.
Yeah.
He's in the Guinness Book of World Records for being on the most recordings.
Next May will be my 80th birthday. How long do I want to be fighting for the survival of music?
There's only one Ron Carter.
Thursday at 9 on WOUB.
When you put voices together, there's an energy in the air.
Keeping black traditions alive, it's so important.
The story was meant to be told.
This feels so good.
Black people can also have those stories too.
WOUB is recognizing members of our Cornerstone Society. The Cornerstone Society is a group that wants to ensure the future of public media in our region. It includes people across our area who value news, entertainment, and cultural programming, as well as the educational services WOUB provides. Also included are graduates of Ohio University who took part in the WOUB Student Professional Development Program. Thanks to the Cornerstone Society for their generous support. To learn how you can be involved, email woub@woub.org.
A nonprofit is providing relief the old-fashioned way to communities in West Virginia affected by this week's severe winter weather. Mountain Mule Packers partnered with the U.S. Air Force and West Virginia State Troopers to pack and deliver essential supplies. The mules are hauling food, water, propane, and heaters to areas that are inaccessible by road because of the high water. The nonprofit CEO says something like this could happen to anyone.
Our power came back on where we live. They showed the inaccessible areas. And me and my guys, we realized that's what we do. We can go through that. So we started, and we've been in North Carolina for about 5 months, and we've been here for about 4 days now.
As long as supplies continue to be donated, he says his team will continue to move them. Forecaster Emily Case is back with us again.
Emily, not only are these crews fighting against the high water, but it's also freezing. When could we possibly see a warm-up?
Yeah, so we're not going to be seeing a warm-up quite just tonight. We're going to be sitting at around 17 degrees tonight, but then throughout this weekend and into next week, we are going to be seeing a significant warm-up, which is great. It'll give us a break from that cold weather. Across the country right now, seeing a lot of high pressure, but we do have a significant low pressure system off the northwest coast and then also northeast coast. And then, on the northwest coast, this is a significant low pressure system. A lot of rain and heavy winds and strong winds impacting Oregon and Washington. Currently in Athens, sitting at around 28 degrees with a wind chill of 22. We have some wind from the northwest, and that's making the temperatures seem a little bit colder than they are. So if you're going outside tonight, make sure you bundle up because those warmer temperatures are not going to be impacting us quite yet tonight. Temperatures over the past 24 hours. We were on the cooler side this morning, and then we did heat up a little bit throughout the day, and we saw some snow flurries this morning and continuing through around noon, and then throughout tonight, not any rain or snow, but we are going to be cooling back down. 17 for that overnight low, partly cloudy skies, and we are 40 to 50% leaning below the temperature, the average temperature for what we should be right now. So again, those cooler temperatures still impacting us. Those clouds still in the area for tomorrow, 37 for that high and 21 for the low. Tomorrow, a lot of high pressure, and this is going to be a theme throughout most of the weekend. This high pressure is just going to be staying in our area. We have some high pressure making its way off the coast, but still dominating most of the region. Sunday, high pressure again, still dominating this region. We are going to be seeing a few clouds, but not a lot of precipitation. There's some mixed precipitation in the north, but nothing to expect it here. Looking at our 7-day outlook, Saturday, mostly cloudy skies, that high of 37. And Sunday is when we're going to start seeing that warm up, partly sunny skies, that high of 42 and a low of 30. So not dipping down as cool in the night. Monday, that's when we're going to be seeing those really spring-like temperatures for partly sunny and that high of 53. Tuesday, 30% chance of showers, a lot of that rain up to the northern part of Ohio, so we might not be experiencing that here, but there's still that slight chance. Wednesday, a high of 55, so if you're able to go outside and just enjoy that warm weather, it's not going to last super long, so just make sure you can enjoy that. 50% chance of showers for Thursday. We're going to be cooling back down through Friday.
Thanks, Emily. There are growing health concerns tonight for the leader of the Catholic Church.
Pope Francis' medical team says the pontiff's condition isn't life-threatening, but he isn't out of danger. Doctors say the 88-year-old is responding positively to treatment for pneumonia and is receiving occasional supplements of oxygen. This comes a week after Pope Francis was admitted to a hospital for an infection in both of his lungs. Doctors say despite the Pope's condition, his humor has not suffered.
The humor is always the same. You mean Holy Pope or Holy Son? You say, good morning, Holy Pope, good morning, Holy Son. And you say, you understand that he's funny, he's more clever than you. So the humor is perfect.
Doctors said Pope Francis would remain hospitalized through next week.
The trends of drinking raw, unpasteurized milk has grown immensely on social media as Americans push to eat less processed food. Despite strong warnings from the Food and Drug Administration and the medical community, the demand for the product continues to rise. Lee Waldman has more as dairy farmers work to meet demand.
We're ready to go.
Stephen and Jamie Vincent run Brookby Farm, a dairy farm in upstate New York where they produce and sell raw milk.
People have gotten to a point where they want to get back to more natural way of living and eating.
They say they've personally seen the demand for raw milk skyrocket.
We have families that come get it in 5-gallon buckets.
As bird flu becomes a growing concern, the Vincents are back to COVID-era protocols.
New York has started testing the milk for that.
For 2 years, Bethany McDaniel has consumed raw milk on and off because she believes it has improved her dairy sensitivity, her children's immune system, and her gut health, though the FDA refutes all of those claims.
With proper standards in place, there's nothing dangerous or risky about it.
That's not the belief held by the majority of the medical community. Dr. Rabia Delator, a gastroenterologist, says prior to the required pasteurization of milk, up to 25% of foodborne illnesses came from it.
The process of actually getting milk from a cow into an actual container for you to drink was fraught with different types of infectious sources.
Milk is pasteurized by applying high heat over a short period of time, which kills bacteria without removing nutrients found in milk. Delator warns against drinking raw milk and urges anyone interested to research the risks.
If you blindly follow instructions that you see on social media, you could be hurting yourself or your loved ones, and so I wouldn't recommend that.
In New York, I'm Lee Waldman.
Next in sports, Ohio hosts the MAC's top team tomorrow.
Catch a preview of the game against Akron and hear from Jeff Bowles when we come back.
There are thousands of discoveries. Wow.
This is huge.
This is really exciting.
This limestone otherworld is unlike anywhere else in Ireland.
The bridge collapsed. Never seen anything of that magnitude before.
People are sometimes unknowingly trafficking in looted art. It's the greatest art scandal of the 20th century.
Wednesday on WOUB.
This is the PBS Video app. Install it on your phone, tablet, smart TV, or other streaming device, and use it to access more of the PBS shows you love. But if you're looking for even more shows to binge like this, or early access to shows like this, then look for this icon. That's the PBS Passport icon, and it means that video is part of PBS Passport. Passport is our way of saying thank you to our station members. Donate to your local PBS station today, and one of the member benefits you'll receive is PBS Passport, which offers extended access to a growing library of new and favorite PBS programs. You can support your station and your community by becoming a member today. Visit pbs.org/getpassport for details. Watch PBS Passport anytime on any screen, wherever you stream. It's your ticket to the best of PBS.
The season is quickly winding down, and we can do a lot with 30 Minutes next week.
Yeah, both the boys and the girls are fighting as tournament action rolls on.
And we'll have an in-depth look at games on the Full Court Press all week long on our X, Facebook, and YouTube accounts.
Plus, keep up with all of the updated brackets and tournament results. Our Instagram is the place to go.
We'll see you here on Sunday at 11 p.m. on WOUB for more Hardwood Heroes. Until then, we're reminding you to be heroic.
I'm Andrew Rowan with sports. With coming off a big win against Central Michigan, the Ohio men's basketball team looks to keep the momentum going into tomorrow in the Convo at 6, as they will need it against the MAC-leading Akron Zips. There are some big implications in this one, as a Bobcat win would see the end of the Zips' 14-win game streak and be their first conference loss, and it would also help Jackson Pawelewski get closer to 1,000 career points. This could also potentially see the Bobcats move up in the MAC standings. Ohio is currently in 5th place with an 8-5 conference record, right behind Kent State, and a win here would see the Bobcats shoot up to the 4th place. That undefeated record from Akron may look intimidating, but Bobcats guard Sharif Mitchell understands the task ahead of him.
We're very excited. Like you said, I think they're the #1 team in the MAC. It's a big game for us at home. I'm sure we have a great crowd here, so, just wanting to win for them, getting the crowd into it, just wanting to compete, come out with the win. We got to be prepared, got to prepare ourselves for, a good Akron team, and, we're just going to do everything leading up to the game to prepare and, get ready for a war.
Spring sports season across the NCAA is heating up, and the preseason conference favorites Ohio softball are continuing their non-conference season down in Charleston, South Carolina. The Bobcats played their first 2 games in the Low Country Classic earlier today. They needed 8 innings in a low-scoring affair to beat Dartmouth, but turned around to run rule Rhode Island, as the Bobcats are an impressive 7-4 already. The pressure to win is for Ohio hockey, as the Bobcats have dropped 3 in a row and have their first road series in over a month this weekend against Liberty. Ohio faced Liberty just a few weeks ago with the Flames came to Bird Arena, and the two split the series, which started Ohio's recent struggles. They've dropped 4 of the last 5. With a 2-game series this weekend, it's Bobcats' final chance to string together some wins before the AHCA tournament. If you're looking for more hoops to hold you over until tomorrow, look no further, as tonight 4 teams across the TVC will play in their district sectional final game. For the Ohio, starting off with Division 5 Group 1, the 12th seed Nelsonville York Buckeyes will hit the road to Chillicothe, where they will play against the 5th seeded Zane Trace Pioneers. Switching over to Group 2, the 14th seed Alexander Spartans will travel down to Chesapeake, where they will face off the 3rd seed Panthers. And lastly, in Division 6 Group 2, you'll see an in-conference brawl between the 8th seeded Eastern Eagles and the Waterford Wildcats, who are right behind them at 9. Coming off a 4-game win streak, the two-headed monster of Gavin Murphy and Colton Lloyd will look to set a precedent early on. All 3 of these matches will tip off tonight at 7. If you want to stay updated with all things Ohio and high school sports, check out woub.org/sports and check out episode 6 of Hardwood Heroes Sunday at 11. That's all from sports. Let's send it back to you.
Thanks, Andrew. And still ahead, the results are in. See what creepy crawler was named New Zealand's Bug of the Year.
Next time on Antiques Roadshow, bushels of treasures are cropping up in Iowa.
This particular scene is like an explosion. I mean, all of these elements are fantastic.
Go ahead and keep talking, Robert, because I think I lost my ability of speech right now.
That's a lot. I've always thought it was neat.
It's Antiques Roadshow, next time from Living History Farms.
Monday at 8 on WOUB.
For more than 70 years, WOUB Public Media has been the place where people in our region turn to learn how stories of the past ignite the imagination of the future. It's where information, entertainment, and education work together to inform, enlighten, and inspire generations. It's the place where the community gathers to hear and see our world in new and innovative ways. WOUB, the public media you trust that's worthy of your support.
I was born for duty, not happiness.
You are the mother of France. You're stronger than you know.
The economy is hanging by a thread.
Let me help you.
You have no understanding of politics. You have done enough to the crown. Reputation is everything. Destroy hers.
There's danger everywhere. No one can be trusted. I will get us out of this mess.
It's showtime!
Well, I think we can do a bit better than that.
I thought we might have a tea party.
At least someone's having fun.
Part of me needs to believe that everything will be all right.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
This story is mine, and no one is going to tell it but me.
Is she trying to break me?
I think she's wonderful.
Sunday on WOUB.
Time magazine has released its 2025 Woman of the Year list. The publication will release the edition with 3 different covers featuring 3 of the women on this year's list. Actress Nicole Kidman appears on one of the covers, and another features gymnast Jordan Chiles. The third features WNBA star Asia Wilson. Other notable names on this year's list include actress and breast care awareness advocate Olivia Munn and reproductive rights activist Amanda Zorowski. The magazine will hit the print stands starting February 27th. The United States has the best dog breed each year, but in New Zealand, they choose a bug of the year.
Yeah, the Entomological Society of New Zealand says almost 25,000 votes were cast from across the world to name the winner.
That's insane.
The New Zealand velvet worm is this year's winner. It feasts at night on other invertebrates and shoots jets of sticky fluid to catch their prey. The bug gets its name from their soft-to-the-touch feel and grow up to 2 inches long. The list of 21 nominees included everything from maggots, ants, crickets, and flies. The New Zealand praying mantis came a close second.
And that's kind of an odd thing to have a bug of the year, I would say. I agree.
I'm a big fan of bugs personally. What's your favorite, honestly?
I like roly-polies a lot. What was yours?
Ooh, tough pick, honestly. A big fan of lightning bugs, I would say.
Okay. Well, I don't think we're going to have lightning bug weather for a while, but what's it looking like?
All right, yeah, well, tonight it's going to be dipping down, so it's going to be pretty cold, but we're going to be seeing that warming trend again towards the end of this weekend and into next week. So that'll be exciting to look forward to.
That does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching.
Support comes from Explore Hocking Hills, welcoming guests to the